Peace and love, black family. It's Dr. Umar Johnson. Good Garvey Day to you all. Brothers and sisters, today I want to do a brief video. I want to talk about the 5 dimensions. The 5 dimensions. The 5 dimensions of black revolutionary life. The 5 dimensions of the revolutionary personality. The 5 dimensions of the progressive African psyche. That's what I want to talk about today. The 5 dimensions, because I think we need to get back to the 5 dimensions, brothers and sisters. We need to get on back to the basics. So today, I want us to get back to the basics. Today, I want us to get back to the basics, brothers and sisters. Let's get back to the basics. And when I say we need to get back to the basics, I'm talking about the fact that we're wasting too much time on unnecessary and irrelevant conversation, debates, discussions, and other nonsense. When you put your truth out to the world, if the world does not accept your truth, that's all right. One of the traits of a psychologically healthy individual is that you are at peace with the fact that others do not agree with you. You must establish yourself completely in self-acceptance and self-referral. You must establish yourself completely in self-acceptance and self-referral. You should never need the approval of other people to live your truth. That is important because I'm seeing too many of us who claim to be conscious, although commitment is more important than consciousness. I will take commitment any day over consciousness. I will take a Bible-toting Christian, a Quran-toting Muslim who cares about the black community more than one of these fake wokers. I want to be clear about that. Commitment is more important than consciousness. But when you put your truth out to the world, if someone doesn't accept that truth, keep going with your life. Why do you need other people to endorse your version of reality? Where would Dr. Umar Johnson be if I stopped raising money for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy just because people said it wouldn't work? Where would I be? More importantly, who would I be if I let people persuade me from pursuing my dream? What if I listened to what people say on Instagram? What if I listened to what people say on Twitter and Facebook? The dozens of articles written about me on the internet, YouTube. What if I needed other people's approval to build the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy? We wouldn't have a school. We wouldn't have a school. And we would not have raised the money necessary to purchase the school that we have if I needed validation from others. Mental strength, mental toughness is the ability to be comfortable being the only person in the room with your opinion. Let me say that again. Mental strength, mental toughness is your ability to be the only person in the room with your opinion and be comfortable with that. We're going to talk about the 5 assessments today. Some of you have heard me talk about this before, but I haven't discussed the 5 assessments in quite some time, so I want to discuss them today. And those 5 assessments are the 5 dimensions that you should evaluate all African people by in the world before you decide to unite with them, organize with them, join their organization, risk your life for them, waste your time on them. The 5 assessments. Those 5 assessments are courage, and they are all equal, brothers and sisters. None are more important than the others. None are more important than the others.
They are all equal, brothers and sisters. None are more important than the others. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism coming to you from somewhere in the ghettos of North Central Philadelphia. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism coming to you somewhere within the ghettos of North Central Philadelphia. Judge, evaluate, assess, and study everybody by these 4 characteristics. As I keep my third eye open for a potential FDMG queen, as I keep my third eye open on sisters, as I keep my third eye open on brothers who could help me in this work, I'm always looking at everybody through the 5 assessments. I look at our ancestors through the 5 assessments. The 5 assessments are, and they're all equal, brothers and sisters. The 5 assessments are courage, consciousness, commitment, consistency, and creativity. Shout out to 20th and Susquehanna. I'm from 8th and Susquehanna, North Philly all day. Courage, consciousness, consistency, commitment, and creativity. That's what we're going to talk about today. The 5 dimensions of the revolutionary personality. The 5 dimensions of the progressive African personality. That's what we're talking about today. But before we talk about it, I want to make a comment about yesterday's morning video on our late brother, now ancestor, the greatest basketball player in history, in my opinion, KobeBryant. In front of the FDMG Academy, on the sacred red, black, and green rock of FDMG, I gave my assessment of what I believe to be responsible for the death of our brother. And I am unequivocal in my position that KobeBryant was assassinated. I am unequivocal in my position. I don't need to debate it. I don't need to discuss it. That's my truth. A friend of mine, the night before, passed along a piece of information. He sent me a video. And this is a very reliable brother. Very reliable. He sends me things from time to time. He's a good brother. But last night he reached out to me and said, Doc, the video I sent you that I thought was KobeBryant's helicopter was not KobeBryant's helicopter. My apologies, bro. First mistake he ever made. First mistake he ever made. No problems. Contradictions occur. You straighten them out. So for my Dr.Umar supporters, I want to say to you that the statement I made regarding the helicopter's propeller, the rotor, and how it gave out was not justifiable. That was based on the video. That was not the actual a video of what was not KobeBryant's helicopter. It was another helicopter. So that piece of information that I saw, KobeBryant's helicopter before it crashed, was incorrect because the video that was given to me was not correctly labeled. It was not KobeBryant's helicopter. So now that I have withdrawn a piece of faulty evidence, I want to reassert my position that despite the fact that that video was not Kobe's helicopter, now that the world knows that that video was not of Kobe's helicopter, I want to be clear that it does not change my position on the assassination. In fact, I am more convinced this morning than I was yesterday morning. I said I am more convinced this morning than I was yesterday morning that KobeBryant was murdered. I'm giving you my truth. Now, some of you would ask the question, you would say, what evidence do you have? What proof do you have? Now, let us be clear. Proof and evidence are not the same. Proof and evidence are not the same. Proof and you can have evidence that Dr. Umar did not buy the 2 charter schools in Wilmington. You may believe you have evidence that I did not buy the school. You may believe you have evidence that I stole the fundraising money. You may think you have evidence that I don't have a doctorate. You may have evidence that I'm not related to Frederick Douglass. You may have evidence that I have a baby with a white girl in London. You may have evidence that I'm not a certified school psychologist, certified school principal. You may have evidence. Evidence is information that by itself does not prove anything. It only leads support to one's original premise. Evidence alone does not prove the truth. But when you have proof, proof leaves no doubt. Evidence leaves a lot of doubt. Proof leaves no doubt. Evidence leaves a lot of doubt. When you say you have proof, that means whatever that is will show beyond a shadow of a doubt that what you claim to be true is true. Proof. When you have evidence, you have pieces that support your narrative. And by themselves, those pieces do not prove your narrative. Does Dr. Umar Johnson have proof that Kobe Bryant was murdered? I do not. Nor am I looking for any. Because I live in a world that is thoroughly influenced by my study of political science and history and military science. And I know that the first art or act of war is to destroy the goddamn proof. Let me say it again. The first thing you do when you want to change the narrative is you destroy the goddamn proof. When the white man said Jesus was white, before he could do that, he had to destroy the proof of Jesus as an African. Before he could say that Jesus was white, he had to destroy the proof that Jesus was an African. Now, fortunately for us and unfortunately for him, and thanks to our great grandmaster teachers like Dr. Nicole Rashidi, who is still with us, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, who is still with us, Dr. James, who is still with us, James Smalls, Professor Anthony Browder, still with us, and our grandmaster teacher ancestors like Dr. Yusuf Ben Yakinen, John Jackson, Chancellor Williams, Sheikh Anta Diop, the great Ivan Van Sertima. They were unable to destroy all the images of the Black Christ. The white man couldn't get rid of all the proof, but he got rid of as much proof as he could. But what if the white man got rid of all the images of Black Christ? What if he totally erased the proof that Jesus was black? Does that mean Jesus was white because we don't have proof? Hell no. Does it mean Jesus was white if we did not have proof to the contrary? No, it does not. Open up your damn third eyes. Open up your damn third eyes. Open up your damn third eyes. Truth is truth whether you can prove it or not. You disagree with me? Well, let's talk about the greatest unprovable truth of all. Let's talk about the greatest unprovable truth of all. Let's talk about the greatest unprovable truth of all, and that is that God exists. Does God exist? Can you ever prove unequivocally that there is a supreme creator? You can't absolutely prove it, just like you can't absolutely disprove it. But guess what? Guess what? Despite all the proof to the contrary, I will always assert my belief that there is nothing other in this world than the great divine supreme consciousness, the almighty I am. So don't tell me, because if you don't have proof, you cannot entertain a particular narrative or conclusions. Lawyers do it in the courtroom all the time. They create suspicion where there is none. They manufacture evidence where there is none. It's called the art of persuasion. Most of what you call proof is nothing but persuasion. Opinions masquerading as facts. Now, what is Dr. Umar's evidence to support the belief that the greatest NBA basketball player of all time, Kobe Bryant, was murdered? But before I go into that, let me briefly speak on another ridiculous premise I've been seeing lately. Another ridiculous premise that I've been seeing lately. There's a premise out that says we cannot investigate assassinations until families have finished grieving. That investigating assassinations somehow disrupts the grieving process. I want to know where you got your goddamn doctorate in psychology at. I want to know where you got your goddamn doctorate in psychology at. Because speaking as a psychotherapist of more than 20 years experience, when someone has a loved one who is murdered, one of the most difficult things for them to do is to move on without having all the answers. Let me say it again. See, y'all not dealing with some YouTube coon. Y'all not dealing with somebody who woke up yesterday and started a YouTube page. You're not dealing with some con artists who push black consciousness in the interest of personal capitalism. I live this shit. I've been living it since 9 years old, 4th grade, 18th in Oxford, Mead Elementary School. I live this shit. I'm not Johnny come lately to the game. I live this shit. One of the best ways to help a family get over their pain is to help them get answers, to bring justice to the situation. What did you see Trayvon Martin's mother and father doing right after he got murdered? What did you see Michael Brown's mother and father and stepfather doing? Eric Garner's wife. Did they say stop asking questions until we're done grieving? Did they say leave us alone for a minute, or did they get right after the pursuit for justice? Did they say leave us alone, or did they say let's get right after the pursuit for justice? Who do you know? Did Betty Shabazz, after they murdered El Hajj, Malik El Shabazz, did Betty Shabazz says, don't worry about who killed my husband, I'm grieving right now? Did Coretta Scott King say, don't worry about who killed my husband, I'm grieving right now? Did Miley ever say, don't worry about who killed my husband, I'm grieving right now? Hell no. The day after the murder, they was looking for answers. They was looking for justice. The best way we can help Kobe's widow and family is to get the answers. The hell wrong with you? He one of the most popular personalities on the planet Earth. That man is loved on 7 continents. I'm loved on 7 continents too, but the difference is he's loved by all races and I'm loved by just one race. Your little Instagram video don't change shit for them. Your little Facebook video don't change shit for them. Your little tweet doesn't change anything for them. Talking about you don't pursue justice until grieving is over. You jackass, when you lose somebody you love, you never stop grieving. When you lose somebody who you know lost somebody they love who's over the grieving you don't get over that shit. You will always hurt. There's always a piece of you that will grieve for the rest of your life. I'm talking facts. I'm talking facts. You don't ever get over. There's no end to grieving. What are the 5 stages of grief? There is shock, denial, bargaining, acceptance, and resolution. Shock, denial, bargaining, acceptance, and resolution. And you can go back and forth. Y'all want me to get clinical? I'll get clinical with your ass. You can go, one day you shocked. Next thing you know, you think you get into acceptance and you end back in denial. One day you think you're moving on and you back in shock. You go back and forth when you going through grieving. That process don't ever end. Who the hell y'all think y'all talking to? See, the problem with a lot of you is social network is your whole goddamn life. Social network is the total sum of your existence. You go to work, come home, pay your Wi-Fi bill, your cell phone bill, 8 hours at work and 16 on social network. You ain't got no goddamn life. That's the problem. 8 hours at work and the other 16 on social network, wasting your damn life away. You ain't got no purpose. You need to have a purpose for why you alive, especially if you African. What is your purpose? That's what I want to know. Black woman, when you meet a man who you think might be your king, the first thing I want you to ask that man, what is your purpose in life? Because don't let no man lead you if he ain't got no purpose. Don't let no man lead with you if he ain't got no. The first question my daughter better ask a potential mate, I'm going to ask him if she don't. What is your purpose in life? Separate from my daughter, why are you here? Because if you ain't got a purpose for living, then this marriage won't have a purpose either. Purpose! And that's why when we come together under the banner of Pan-African nationalism, when we have all these meetings, you know why we go to meetings all the time and we don't get nothing accomplished? You want to know why we go to all these meetings and we never get anything accomplished? You got black people say, I'm tired of meetings. I don't want no more meetings. We've had enough meetings. Do you know why? That's because most of our meetings, when we come together, don't have a purpose. How many times, how many times you've been to a community meeting and nothing got accomplished? You know why nothing got accomplished? Because y'all did not start the meeting out with a purpose. Don't you let nobody waste your time. I don't care who. Telephone conversation, what's the purpose? Dinner meeting, what's the purpose? Organizational gathering, what's the purpose? You're not wasting my time. What is the purpose? So, I have 3 possible suspects for the murder of my Philadelphia brother, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. I have 3. Number 1, and these are in no order. No suspect is of more interest than the other. These are in no particular order. You are listening to the Prince of Pan-Africanism somewhere within the ghettos of North Central Philadelphia. The NBA, as a multinational corporation, is a suspect in Dr. Umar's investigation. The National Basketball Association is a suspect in Dr. Umar's investigation. That's right. The goddamn NBA is a suspect. As soon as I said that, Mama Oya blew my cell phone off the stand. As soon as I named the NBA as a suspect, Mama Oya, and now the winds is coming. Soon when I said the NBA, Orisha Oya blew my phone off the stand. That's not proof that it was the NBA, but that's damn sure some good evidence. That's not proof that it was the NBA, but that's damn sure some good evidence that soon when I mention the NBA, the ancestors blow the cell phone off the stand. I just wanted to point that out. I just wanted to point that out. Did y'all see what just happened, brothers and sisters? Did you see what just happened? I've been talking to y'all for how long? How long I've been talking to y'all just now? How long have I been talking to y'all just now? And soon when I mention the NBA as the first suspect in Kobe's death, my cell phone get blown off the stand. That's not proof. It's still debatable, but it's a good piece of evidence. Now, wait a minute. We're going to have a block party. Let me do a block. We're having a block party. Quick 2-minute block party. Hold on. Let's have a block party. Who bringing the chips? Who else coming to the block party? We having the block party. I'm bringing the music. I'm bringing the cake. Who else coming to the block party? Hold on, y'all. We having a quick little block party. Quick little block party. See if it, okay. Only one person coming to the block party so far. All right. I thought I was going to have a few more people coming to the block party. All right. We only got one person at the block party. So, the NBA, National Basketball Association, is my first suspect. My second suspect is the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry is my second suspect. And my third and final suspect, and all of this can change based on the information. Investigations are a work in progress. It's like a psychological evaluation. I might think your son got a reading problem, but more information might show me that it's trauma. I might think your son got trauma. More information might show me it's an attachment problem. All investigations are works in progress. Suspect number 1, the National Basketball Association. Suspect number 2, the pharmaceutical industry. Suspect number 3. Who is Dr. Umar's third and final suspect in the KobeBryant assassination? The Rockefeller Council on Foreign Relations and Trilateral Commission. The Rockefeller Council on Foreign Relations and Trilateral Commission. Oh, yes. And I'm going to give you a little bit of rationale for why I believe this. I repeat my three. The NBA, the pharmaceutical company, and the Rockefeller Trilateral / CFR. The Rockefellers have the CFR, the CFR has the Trilaterals. Those are my 3 suspects. Let me explain why. They're all equally suspicious right now, and they could have colluded. They're all equally suspicious right now, and they could have colluded. They're all equally suspicious right now, and they could have colluded. The NBA, the pharmaceutical industry, and the Rockefeller CFR and Trilaterals. Donate to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Cash.me/$FDMG School. Cash.me/$FDMG School. Cash.me/$FDMG School. You ask me, why do I repeat certain comments certain times? Because as a mental scientist, I understand that which is repeated is remembered more often than that which is not. So when there's something very important that I'm saying that I need to sink into your unconscious, your long-term memory, I have to repeat it. We also know that information that is presented more than 3 to 5 seconds has a higher likelihood of being encoded into your long-term memory, long-term storage. Remember, you're talking to the greatest black psychologist of the 21st century. Put some respect on my name. You're talking to the greatest Pan-Africanist of the 21st century. Put some respect on my name. You're talking to the greatest black school psychologist, Pan-Africanist, orator of the 21st century. I know we only 20 years in. We got 80 more to go, but so far, I'm leading. I know we only, okay, self-proclaimed. We got a block party going on. Block party. Anybody coming to the block party? Who bringing the music? Who bringing the chips? Who bringing the soda? I keep a block party going on. I keep a block party going on. I keep a block party going on. The reason I believe the NBA is suspicious is because KobeBryant was building a very strong business foundation in Red China. For the last couple of years, KobeBryant has been building a very powerful business foundation in Red China. As you know, America can't stand China because China is the only country America cannot beat in a straight up war. America has been trying to destabilize China. That's why you got bird flu and all these other flus they keep popping up on the Chinese people to disrupt the society in order to sabotage the Chinese economy. America can't stand China. The only reason why the NBA is over there having games is they're trying to use the NBA as a velvet glove for the iron fist of white capitalism to try to get in and destroy from within. I said the reason the NBA is having games in China is because that is a front for the United States power structure so that they can get in and destroy from within. And the other reason why the NBA is having games in China is because KobeBryant was having talks about starting a league in China, a international league based in China. Do you know how much money the NBA would stand to lose if KobeBryant starts his own league and is based in China? Problem with you jackasses is you don't read anything. Problem with you jackasses is if it's not on TMZ, you don't pay attention to it. That's right. KobeBryant, one man, was more popular in the most populated country in the world than the entire NBA and all its teams put together. KobeBryant was a god in China. KobeBryant was a god in China. Now I want you to add to the fact that KobeBryant was a god in China. Add that to the fact that he probably has a chip on his shoulder anyway for being robbed of at least 2 MVPs. Add that to the fact that he probably had a chip on his shoulder anyway because he was robbed of at least 2 MVPs. Add that to the fact he probably had a chip on his shoulder because they keep on putting LeBron James above Kobe and who's the greatest of all time conversation. I don't give a damn about no analytics. And I love and support and respect LeBron James, but he cannot tie Kobe's shoestrings. No disrespect to King James. You are not on Kobe's level. No disrespect to King James. The only reason why they leave Kobe out of that conversation is because an alleged charge of sexual improprieties that we're not going to get into. That's right. KobeBryant's business ventures posed a threat to the NBA's success. That's right. We have another block party going on. Hold on. We got a brother said he bringing the chips. Once you go buy them chips, come back on, my brother. The block party is always in full effect. We're not debating whether you think Kobe better than LeBron. Stop being childish with your young dumb ass. Okay? Stop acting like you're in 6th grade. You're damn near 30 years old. When are we going to grow up? I think LeBron was better. I think Kobe was... Listen, that ain't the point. The point of the matter is KobeBryant was more popular in China than everybody else put together. That's the point that I'm making. KobeBryant's business activity as a retired NBA athlete was not your usual investments for a retired NBA player. KobeBryant was on some next level shit, brothers and sisters. KobeBryant was on some next level shit, brothers and sisters. A lot of our NBA players, they retire, they get a restaurant, get a nightclub, get a clothing company, open up a couple small businesses. Ain't nothing wrong with that. KobeBryant was on some next level shit. He wasn't on no small time business. KobeBryant was investing in legal companies globally, video game development, international sports leagues. The IT business. Kobe was on some big shit. He was on some Bill Gates shit. He wasn't on no small time shit. They said by the time Kobe retired, he done made almost $1 billion in the NBA alone with his endorsements. He was damn near a billionaire when he left the game. What you think he doing now? He got a damn Hollywood production company. It ain't as big as Tyler Perry's, but he was on his way. KobeBryant was investing in animation. You know how much money they make off of animation? Excuse me, Avatar? Excuse me, Star Wars? Do you realize some of the biggest films in American history, global history, were animated films? And are you aware that China is the heaven for animation? The Chinese IT business corners the market when it comes to animation. We got another block party. Hold on. We got another block party. Kobe was moving silently, but moving powerfully. KobeBryant had his hands in almost a dozen different multinational, multi-billion-dollar business efforts, one of them being a possible league that would undermine the NBA. So if you're wondering why he was killed the morning after LeBron James passed him as the third leading scorer in NBA history, if you're wondering why he was killed the morning after LeBron James passed him as the third leading scorer in NBA history, I suggest you look at KobeBryant's sports interests. I suggest you look at KobeBryant's ideas to start an international basketball league with Chinese corporations as a partner. We having another block party, y'all. Another block party. So that's the NBA. Now let's move on over to Big Pharma. At the time of his death, Kobe was in the process. He was in a legal battle with a very large pharmaceutical company over the rights to use the phrase Black Mamba. They stole it from Kobe. The United States government, I believe they refused him the rights to copyright the name. So Kobe took it to court. Everybody knows the pharmaceutical industry is probably the most powerful industry in America. They put more money into political campaigns and into judges' pockets than almost any other industry, including oil and automobiles. Remember, it's the legal drug industry. They got buku bucks. It's the legal drug industry. They got buku bucks. But not only was KobeBryant fighting for his name, KobeBryant had accused said pharmaceutical industry of putting illegal chemicals in their medications. Do your research. KobeBryant accused this particular pharmaceutical industry giant of putting harmful, dangerous, illegal chemicals in their medications. They couldn't afford for KobeBryant to keep on investigating the use of illegal chemicals in their medications. People go to jail for that. People get sued for that. People get shut down for that. KobeBryant was battling the pharmaceutical industry, battling the NBA. And then I'll give you my third possible suspect. And my third suspect is the Rockefeller Council on Foreign Relations Trilaterals. Right? And why am I implicating the Rockefeller dynasty? Why am I implicating the CFR? First of all, if you know anything about the CFR, it was created in the 1920s to undermine the most honorable Marcus Garvey's work in Africa. Let me say it again. The CFR was created to undermine the most honorable Marcus Garvey's work in Africa. Let me say it again. The CFR was created to undermine the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey's work in Africa. The CFR and the Trilateral Commission, a branch of CFR, was created in 1973 in order to coordinate white power efforts between America, the United Kingdom, and Japan. Let me say that again. The Trilateral Commission was created in 1973 to coordinate white power control of the planet between North America, Europe, and Japan. Oh yes. Oh yes. To do what? Make as much money for the Anglo-Saxons as possible. KobeBryant was working with Chinese businessmen, which was going to undermine the CFR's control over the international flow of money and power. That's right. That's right. That's right. The CFRs had an issue with KobeBryant's global business pursuits. The CFR had concerns about KobeBryant's Chinese business relationships. The CFR had a problem with a retired NBA legend thinking he got any business getting involved in international capitalism. NBA retired players don't get involved in international capitalism. They open up strip joints and nightclubs and music studios and music labels and fish fries and chicken wing joints and movie theaters. They don't get involved in no damn international investments of $1 billion magnitude. They sell sneakers. What are you doing, Kobe? Yes, brothers and sisters. And I'm going to do more research and I'm going to bring you more information. I'm going to do more research and I'm going to bring you even more information. I repeat, brothers and sisters, KobeBryant and Dr. Umar's thorough political assessment up until today, because new information may bring a new narrative. New information may bring a new narrative, but right now I'm looking at the NBA being threatened by Kobe's, potentially creating another rival international basketball association where the NBA's ratings are already suffering. The NBA's ratings are already suffering. The NBA's ratings are already down. That's why they're trying to go into other companies. And here comes Kobe talking about, don't worry about going to China because I'm about to lock China down with my own league. And here you have KobeBryant saying, don't worry about China. I'm about to lock down China with my own basketball league. Keep your ass in North America, NBA. You want to give me one MVP with 5 rings? Who do you know with one MVP with 5 rings? No. I'm going to show y'all who's king. Kobe was on the Leo cusp, August the 23rd. He just missed Leo. He just missed Leo. The Prince of Pan-Africanism, August 21st, on the Virgo cusp. I just missed Virgo. We separated by 1 day. I know what he was thinking. We don't go out like that. End of August, babies. We don't go out like that. Marcus Messiah Garvey. We don't go out like that. His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie. We don't go out like that. Menelik II. End of August, babies. We don't go out like that. KobeBryant was an end of August baby like the Prince of Pan-Africanism. NBA, pharmaceutical industry. Kobe was exposing them for illegal practices and fighting them to keep his name. And then you have the CFR and the trilaterals of the Rockefellers for undermining their global Anglo-Saxon financial empire. The CFRs and the trilaterals had an issue with KobeBryant for undermining their international financial interests for white supremacy by working with the Chinese. This is why we need FDMG. This is why we need FDMG. This is why we need FDMG. Y'all need political education because you're not getting it on YouTube. You're not getting it on Twitter. You're not getting it from TMZ. You're not getting it on Facebook. You're not even getting it from the New York Times, the Washington Times, the New York Post, USA Today. You're not getting it. Isn't it funny that we have not yet seen a video of the crash site? They only showing you the crash site from the air. Why can't we see the crash site from the ground up close? Why can't we see the crash site from the ground up close? I mean, you've already removed the deceased. Rest in peace to all of them. Condolences to their families. You've already removed the deceased. Rest in peace to all of them. Condolences to their family. Black, white, and purple. I can be for my people and still show respect for another. Black, white, or purple. I can be unapologetically African and still show respect for another. Why can't we see a tour up close of the crash site? Why they keep giving us these aerial photos? Another block party. 1 second, y'all. Another block party. Time for the block. When y'all see a need for the block party, just say block party. When y'all say block party, that's when I know we got to invite somebody to the block party. And then they said Kobe's helicopter didn't have a black box. Kobe's helicopter didn't have a black box. Kobe's helicopter did not have a black box. Is that a coincidence? Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. His helicopter was not required to have a black box. The black box records the activity in the cockpit. The black box records the activity in the helicopter. KobeBryant's helicopter did not have a black box. So they say. So they say. So they say. So here's my question. If KobeBryant's helicopter did not have a black box on the day of the accident, did it have a black box the day before the accident? Can somebody answer that for me? Did he never have a black box? Or was the black box missing on that day? We need to find that out, brothers and sisters. We having another block party. Why would KobeBryant not have a black box in a Why would he not have a black box? The helicopter that Kobe bought, according to news reports, is one of the most expensive private helicopters you can buy. It was top of the line. They said it's one of the most expensive helicopters that you can buy. Top of the line for quality and safety. Top of the line. One of the most expensive. Why would KobeBryant invest all that money into a helicopter of that quality and not have a black box? Why not? Now, if he never had a black box, I could understand. If he never had a black box, I could understand. If Kobe never had a black box, I could understand. What I'm asking y'all to find out, and I'm going to look into this. Did that helicopter have a black box before the day of the assassination? Did Kobe's helicopter at any time during his ownership, did it have a black box? Because if it did, what happened to the black box on the day of the crash? That's what I want to know. Now, somebody is saying he wasn't in his own helicopter. This is the first time I'm hearing that. I was told that it was his, but let's say it was not his helicopter, because that's possible. That's possible. That's not what I heard, but let's say it was not Kobe's helicopter. Let's say it was another helicopter. I'm even more suspicious now, my queen. I'm even more suspicious now. You want to know why? Because most commercial aircraft are required to have a black box. Kobe's helicopter was privately owned, but a commercial helicopter that transports people for business is required to have a black box. So if you're telling me Kobe was not in his own helicopter, whose helicopter was he in? And if it was a commercial helicopter, where was the black box? In other words, the more questions y'all raise, the more suspicious I get. The more questions y'all raise, the more suspicious I get. Block party. And you're saying that he was in somebody else's helicopter and they won't tell us who the owner was. If that is true, that is suspicious. That is suspicious. Block party. Block party. We understand it doesn't require a black box. That's not the question. I've already stated that Kobe was not required to have a black box in his helicopter. The question is, did he have one though? Not require it, not being required to have and not to have is two different things. Not required to have and not having is two different things. Although it wasn't required, I would think a man of Kobe's status with a family and so many young beautiful princesses that he would have a black box. I would believe he would have one. Why would he not? But we don't need to speculate, we need to investigate. We don't need to speculate, we need to investigate. We don't need to speculate, we need to investigate. And then I also heard that the pilot that flew the plane was known for being extremely careful and meticulous with everything that he does. They said Kobe's pilot was one of the most serious, dedicated, organized, and meticulous pilots that they had. They said the chances of him being in an accident are slim to none. They said that pilot had over 20 years experience. Over 20 years experience, and he had a no-nonsense reputation for being meticulous. It's not adding up, brothers and sisters. And then they said that the pilot requested to land and they wouldn't let him land. Why wasn't he allowed to land if, in fact, that report is true? It's not adding up, brothers and sisters. You mean to tell me my helicopter is in trouble? I'm asking for permission to land and you don't let me land? It's not adding up, brothers and sisters. And then they said there was a fire on board the helicopter, but they're not telling us why there was a fire on board the helicopter. Was it a fire or was it a goddamn bomb? Was it a fire or was it a damn bomb? Was it a fire or was it a bomb? And then they also said, no other aircraft were allowed to take off that day due to the fog. No other aircraft were allowed to take off that day due to the fog. Special permission was needed for Kobe to take off. No other aircraft were allowed to take off that day at that time due to the fog. Why was Kobe allowed to take off with children? Why was that helicopter allowed to take off with children? Why was that helicopter allowed to take off with children on board if it was not safe? Come on, y'all. I know we more intelligent than this. Dr. Umar, are you saying we should automatically believe that it was an assassination? No, I'm not. My truth does not have to be your truth. My truth does not have to be your truth. What have I been telling y'all for years? What have I been saying to y'all over and over again for years? My job is not to make you believe what I believe. My job is to turn you into a critical thinker. That's all I want for you. If you become a critical thinker, you will automatically get to the truth on your own. That's all I want for you, is to become a critical thinker. Nothing else. Just to become a critical thinker. You ain't got to become a Pan-Africanist. Just be a critical thinker. That's all I ask. Learn how to think for yourself. That's all I ask. And then I read another report. And then I read another report. And then I read another report that the plane that took Kobe up on that fateful morning had already had a test flight. A 7 to 15 minute test flight was already conducted on that very same helicopter the same morning before Kobe and company loaded up. I'm going to repeat that. I received the report that the helicopter had already flown a test run about 7 to 15 minutes just before the 8 passengers boarded up. Why was the helicopter safe during the test run, but not safe when everybody got inside? I'm just asking you to think for yourself. Courage, commitment, consistency, creativity, and consciousness. That's how you judge all black people. Courage, commitment, consistency, creativity, and consciousness. That's how you judge all black people. Courage, commitment, creativity, consciousness, and consistency. That's how you judge all black people. Brothers and sisters, I will see you in New Orleans Saturday. Washington, D.C. next Saturday, February the 8th. Register at DrUmarJohnson.com. White Plains, New York, February the 29th. Get your tickets at DrUmarJohnson.com. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, March the 21st. Get your tickets and donate to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. $ FDMG School. Black Power.
Okay, I'm reloaded. If they ever ask about me, tell them I was more than just a great set of boobs. Nicole.